In a revealing interview, seasoned journalist Hasif with journalist Indrakumar Theradi offered an in-depth analysis of the recent developments in the peace negotiations between India and Pakistan, with a particular focus on the contentious Kashmir conflict. The discussion, which addressed the roles of key political figures, historical complexities, and the influence of media, underscored the delicate balance required to navigate this decades-long dispute. Hasif began by addressing the ambiguity surrounding the peace agreement discussions. He noted that India has consistently maintained a bilateral approach, referencing only Pakistan in its official communications. The Indian side has been clear in its stance, no other country is mentioned in the context of these talks, Hasif stated, emphasizing India's preference for direct negotiations. The timing of the talks, however, has raised eyebrows, particularly due to an unexpected announcement by US President Donald Trump. Just before the discussions gained momentum, Trump claimed credit for brokering a peace agreement, a move that Hasif described as curious and potentially disruptive. He suggested that the announcement may have been premature, casting doubts on the authenticity and progress of the negotiations. Trump's involvement has become a focal point in the discourse surrounding the talks. Hasif highlighted that the US president's comments, including a widely criticized remark that the Kashmir conflict has persisted for thousands of years, reflect a misunderstanding of the issue's historical roots. The Kashmir dispute, which began in 1947 following the partition of India and Pakistan, is now in its 76th year. Hasif argued that such missteps could undermine the credibility of external actors seeking to mediate. Trump's involvement is significant, but it risks overshadowing the bilateral efforts, Hasif said. The Kashmir issue is deeply complex, rooted in territorial disputes and cross-border terrorism. Simplistic narratives do little to advance the cause of peace. The interview also explored the domestic political context in India, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government has positioned itself as a global leader. Hasif noted that the Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, portrays Modi as a Vishwaguru, world teacher, capable of resolving international challenges. The narrative is that Modi's leadership transcends national boundaries, positioning India as a mediator in global conflicts, he explained. However, Hasif cautioned that this image, while powerful domestically, may complicate India's stance on third-party mediation in the Kashmir issue. The government has repeatedly rejected external interference, insisting that the matter be resolved bilaterally. This stance aligns with public sentiment but limits the scope for international collaboration, he said. Hasif was unequivocal in his criticism of third-party mediation, arguing that historical attempts at external involvement have often exacerbated tensions. The Kashmir issue is a bilateral matter, he asserted. Past interventions by third parties have complicated rather than resolved the conflict. He cited instances where external actors, driven by their own geopolitical agendas, have failed to address the nuances of the dispute. This perspective resonates with India's long-standing position, as articulated by its diplomatic corps. Hasif emphasized that any resolution must prioritize direct dialogue between New Delhi and Islamabad, with a focus on addressing the root causes of the conflict, including terrorism and territorial claims. The role of media in shaping public perception was another critical theme of the interview. Hasif highlighted the challenges faced by journalists reporting on sensitive issues like the Kashmir conflict. There's a significant backlash against those who cover these topics critically, he said. The climate of fear and censorship is palpable, and it stifles open discourse. He also pointed out that media narratives often amplify nationalist sentiments, making it harder to foster a balanced dialogue about peace. The way the conflict is framed in the media influences how the public perceives the stakes. This can either build momentum for peace or entrench divisions, Hasif noted. The discussion also touched on the military dimensions of the conflict. Hasif questioned the effectiveness of India's military responses to cross-border incidents, calling for a more coherent defense policy. Military actions are often reactive rather than strategic, he observed. There needs to be a balance between demonstrating strength and pursuing diplomacy. He also highlighted the need for both nations to reassess their diplomatic strategies. The tit-for-tat rhetoric and posturing have not yielded lasting results. A sustainable resolution will require bold concessions and a willingness to engage in good faith, Hasif said. Looking ahead, Hasif expressed cautious optimism about the prospects for peace. There is potential for a resolution, but it will require overcoming significant hurdles, he said. These include entrenched political positions, public skepticism, and the challenge of addressing the aspirations of the people in Kashmir. The future of India-Pakistan relations hinges on dialogue, Hasif concluded. Both sides must recognize that peace is not just a political necessity but a moral imperative. The people of Kashmir deserve a future free from conflict. Hasif's interview offers a nuanced perspective on the India-Pakistan peace talks, highlighting the interplay of diplomacy, media, and public sentiment. As the two nations navigate their fraught relationship, the path to peace remains fraught with challenges but also holds the promise of a transformative resolution. The international community, including figures like President Trump, will need to tread carefully to support, rather than undermine, these efforts. For now, the focus remains on bilateral dialogue, with the hope that both India and Pakistan can find common ground to resolve one of the world's most enduring conflicts. Subscribe to akmatrix today for in-depth analysis, powerful narratives, and the latest updates on issues that matter to you. Hit that subscribe button now and join the movement.